Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology. In today's video, we will speak about the Saturn return in the sign of Aquarius and Pisces. We will have a deeper insight on what type of events have occurred across the world whenever Saturn entered Aquarius and Pisces. Now, Saturn returns back to the same sign after around 30 years, which means that after 30 years, Saturn has re entered Aquarius. He's going to stay there for 2.5 years and then move into the sign of Pisces. So, in this slide, you can see the entry dates of Saturn into the sign of Pisces and Aquarius. So, you can see that Saturn primarily stayed in the sign of Pisces from 2nd June 1995 to around August 9th, 1995. Then he went retrograde and entered into the sign of Aquarius on August 10th, 1995. He then entered the sign of Pisces on February 16th, 1996, and he remained there till April 16th, 1998, which means that for almost 2 years from 1996 to 1998, Saturn was in Pisces. And between August 10th, 1995 and February 15th, 1996, Saturn was in Aquarius. So now let us analyze what is the impact or what events have happened when Saturn was in the sign of Pisces between February 1996 and April 1998 mainly. So you can see on August 10th, 1995, Saturn had entered into the sign of Aquarius. And on 24th August 1995, Microsoft released Windows 95 version. Windows was a big boom at that time. Similarly, right now when Saturn is in Aquarius, in the last 1 year, ChatGPT has been released. So Saturn's entry into the sign of Aquarius results in some technological advances. And therefore, you can see that whenever Saturn entered Aquarius, Microsoft benefited in a big way. In this case, Microsoft tied up with OpenAI to release ChatGPT. Now, between February 1996 and April 1998, Saturn was in the sign of Pisces or Meen. So, during that time, what events took place? One of the major events that took place in that time was the first Congo War, which began in 1996, involving several African countries and rebel groups who overthrew the then president Mobutu Sese Seko in May 1997. The next major event that took place in September 1996 was Taliban taking over Afghanistan and capturing the capital of Kabul. Then, in the year 1997-1998, there was a great financial crisis that started in Asia, and it had global repercussions on the economy as well as the financial stability of several countries. There was also a Rwandan refugee crisis in 1996, where because of genocide, several thousands of Rwandan Hutu refugees fled to neighboring countries, resulting in a humanitarian crisis. When Saturn was in Mesh or Aries in August 1998, that time Al Qaeda carried out bombings at US embassies in Nairobi, Kenya, Tanzania, killing hundreds of people. So, in short, when Saturn is in Pisces, you can see several wars starting. Right? We had the Congo War. Terrorist activities also increased, like Taliban taking over Afghanistan. And even when Saturn entered into Aries, US embassy bombings happened. There was also a refugee crisis in 1996 when Saturn was in the sign of Pisces. There was the Kosovo conflict which continued in 1998, and there was an Asian financial crisis when Saturn was in Pisces, that is in the years 1997 1998. So, from this, we can conclude that when Saturn moves into Pisces, new war starts. Terrorist activities across the world increase, refugee crisis happens, financial crisis happens. All these events happened in the last cycle, that is during the years 95 to 98. Now let us go back a bit down in time when Saturn was in Aquarius. So Saturn was in Aquarius between March 5th, 1993 to 14th October 1993. He retrograded back to Capricorn on October 15, 1993 and he stayed there till November 10th, 1993. So now let us see what events happened between the years 1992 and 1993. You can see that in the year 1993, just 7 days after when Saturn entered Aquarius, that is on March 12th, 1993, there were multiple bomb blasts in the city of Bombay in India. So there were major terrorist attacks at that time. Then there was the Bosnian War, which had started in April 1992 and it continued till December of 1995. The Eritrean War of Independence that ended in May 24th, 1993, and Eritrea gained independence over Ethiopia after a long and brutal war. Then you can also see that there was a Russian constitutional crisis between September and October 1993, and there was a violent confrontation between the Russian parliament and then President Boris Yeltsin. In fact, it is believed that Yeltsin ordered the shelling of the White House Russian building to quell the opposition and to save his position, which resulted in a large number of casualties and a great political shift in Russia. Right now also Saturn is in Aquarius and you can see what kind of similar events are happening. Right now Russia is at war with Ukraine. This war started on February 24th, 2022 and it is still continuing. You can see lot of turmoil in the African regions. Right now there was a coup in Niger. There was an insurgency in the Maghreb region of North Africa. There was a Nigerian bandit conflict. So African regions are undergoing a lot of turmoil. So you can see Russia was in conflict even when Saturn was transiting Capricorn and Aquarius. And right now also it is in conflict when Saturn was transiting Capricorn and Aquarius, and the conflict is still continuing. The African regions were in turmoil in that time, they are now in turmoil at the same time. In the year 1992, there was a stock market crash in India, the Harshad Mehta scandal, and right now also across the world you can see there is a global food crisis and economic instability across Europe. Now in the year 1992-1993 there were riots in India followed by bomb blasts. Right now also in the northeastern region of India, mainly in Manipur, Mizoram, you can still see disturbances and riots. Floods happening in the northern parts of India, floods also happening across the world. So in short, the events are similar whenever Saturn is transiting through Aquarius and Pisces. Basically, when Saturn transits through Pisces, there is an increase in terrorist activities in warlike situations. When he transits through Aquarius, There is an increase in riots, terrorist activities. However, there is great advance in technology, and especially I have seen that when Saturn is in Aquarius, Microsoft company benefits a lot. Even right now, Microsoft is benefiting a lot due to its partnership with OpenAI. The other things that generally happen when Saturn transits through Aquarius are a big stock market crash, financial instability, and some kind of humanitarian crisis, either a refugee crisis or a food crisis. So, all these things are also happening right now. You can see the Russia Ukraine war is also intensifying right now. The African regions are in turmoil right now. We have seen the same things in the previous cycle. So definitely Saturn's transits through Aquarius and Pisces brings about a lot of changes in the hierarchical structures of the world. It brings about a lot of change in power dynamics, and it also brings about financial and refugee crisis across the world. So friends, looking at all of the above, I am sure the world will now enter a time where wars will intensify. A financial crisis and a hunger crisis at a global level will happen. A stock market crash is imminent in the times ahead. So, we all need to be careful and be prepared for such difficult times which will happen across the world. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. In case of any queries, you can write to us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com. To know more about us, you can visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe.